How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I have for you all the 99 overall Mike Piazza debut. I'm going to be hopping into some ranked seasons, and I also picked up recently, I picked Griffey back up. I also picked up David Price, the brand new headliner pack. If you guys didn't know, they did release Luis Aparicio and David Price into some new set 20 headliners. I believe it's set 20, but nonetheless, new headliner packs in there. This opponent has a pretty good team. He has a lot of the free Signature Series cards that you get throughout the XP reward path, as well as just some cards throughout grinding the events and whatnot. But he also has pretty good budget pitcher on the mound in Jack Morris. So I definitely think that that card is pretty good and does have a good pitch repertoire. To start this one off, I got a line drive from Edgar Martinez. George Brett makes the rare error over there. The occasional error at third base. It's probably one of my weakest fielders out there on the field. We have diamond badges all around except for, I guess, Rogers Hornsby, George Brett, and then now Mike Piazza, who is starting at catcher. But I think his defense is going to be pretty good behind the dish. But the opponent is going up 1-0 on a base hit up the middle there. And just unfortunate, but nonetheless, just try and keep him from expanding the lead a little bit more. Greinke's confidence was down a little bit after giving up a base knock to start the game off, and then another error, or I guess another base hit, as it did count as a hit. But trying to get out of this inning unscathed. Joe Morgan, who always kills me, I got him to fly out there. I noticed that this opponent was struggling a little bit with the outside fastball, swinging a little bit early, pulling off of it a little bit. So I'm going to have to go towards that and keep that in mind. Not try and overuse that pitch, but definitely try and throw that fastball away and get him to roll over or hit the ball the other way. Try and make him sit on it. I know that he was waiting for pitches inside. I could tell by his swing feedback. But started off this game with a base knock. Tony Gwynn's getting on first base. Willie Mays follows it up with a double play and a hitter's count. Not really what you want to see right away to start this game off. Followed up by a base knock from Lou Gehrig. So I would have had something going, but trying to get a two-out rally after that double play from Willie. We do have Ken Griffey Jr. up after Rogers Hornsby draws a walk, and I've been unable to get anything going with Griffey so far. I've also chased a couple bad pitches, and so far every opponent that I've faced with Griffey for so far only 5 at-bats has pitched him extremely well. But we will have Mike Piazza leading off this next inning, looking to tie up the game in his debut at some point, but this opponent has Johnny Bench behind the dish, definitely a solid catcher. I was using him a little bit before I unlocked Pudge and tried out some other Signature Series catchers like that Brian McCann, but I think Piazza is going to be the move. And here he is making his debut at bat. I swung at a pitch a little bit below the zone. It was tough to tell if that was going to be a strike or not, and I had to swing at it. I mean, it was a pitch where if you throw Mike Piazza low and in and I can barrel that one up, that is going to be his sweet spot, I believe. A lot of people are going to throw him up and in, so I'm going to keep that in mind. But I ended up getting a fielder's choice, the next batter. He reached on first base from an Ozzie Smith error, which I thought was interesting. Ozzie Smith doesn't really make too many errors. I'm wondering if this opponent has his defensive settings on just buttons and rather than button accuracy. I definitely think that button accuracy is the way to go there. You're going to make less errors, as I'm able to get a nice double play on an accidental slider away in the zone, and trying to throw that inside, missed the hoop and everything, but we do get rewarded with a double play there. So I noticed from playing a couple other years of MLB The Show that pitching is a lot tougher in this year's game. Every time I go back and play 17 or 18, something like that, I realize how much easier it was to pitch in some of those games rather than it is to control the pitcher in this year's game. It seems like sometimes with good feedback, they don't necessarily throw the ball where you want them to anyway, and in other years, they would throw the ball exactly where you wanted to with good feedback all the time. But anyway, to tie this game up, I was able to get a nice double with Tony Gwynn. I thought I was going to be able to send a 2-run shot out with Willie Mays. Lou Gehrig follows it up with a base knock into the gap. That's going to be a ground rule double to tie this game up. And I was looking for that pitch up and inside with Griffey. I fouled it off and swung a little bit too early. I was not looking for it again. I didn't think he would go right back to it. He does, and I get popped up to the shortstop there. Unfortunate. So I've been held off the board so far with Griffey. I definitely think that he's going to be a great hitter for me. I'm trying to more focus on Mike Piazza in this video. So far I've been held off the board with him as well. And just anytime I get these new cards, man, I mean, I was looking for the pitch up and inside. I feel like if I use him a little bit more often, then I will be able to turn on that successfully and consistently, squaring it up, smacking that one out for a home run or, you know, an extra base hit into the gap. But that one was just off the plate. I was a little bit late on it. Followed up by George Brett sending a fly ball to the warning track good, squared up. Followed up by Roberto Alomar, another one that I felt like I got on it. A lot of lineouts in this game. The ball just really wasn't carrying so far for both teams. I felt like this opponent definitely could have had a couple runs up until this point. He's still struggling a little bit with the fastball away, and not even really struggling with it, just hitting the ball hard, but right to the fielders that I have on defense. So I'm going to try and keep going to that pitch, but we have Zack Greinke up on in a tie game, 1-1 in the 5th inning. I figure sometimes I'll take him out in this situation in a tie game, looking to try and take the lead there, but I have Zack Greinke up, and Zack Greinke is probably the best all-around hitting pitcher. We do go deep with him, hit a no-doubt home run. I guess not technically a no-doubter, but as soon as that one was hit, I figured it was gone. 100 miles an hour off the bat, one of the hardest hits of this game so far. So even with all these 99 overall players, including with the opponent, I mean, Zack Greinke's hitting the first home run of the game, as well as hitting one of the hardest balls of the game so far. But this opponent fouled off that slider low and away on a 1-2 count, and because of that, he fouls it off. He is able to extend the at-bat, gets a base knock up the middle. I would have liked to get that strikeout, obviously, but trying to keep him from getting a 2-out rally going. He does have Frank Thomas up. As soon as I threw that pitch, I thought it was going to be a 2-run shot, and he was going to take the lead there. But nonetheless, we still have the lead, 2-1 game. Rogers Hornsby up at the plate, the cleanup hitter. Felt like I hit this one a little bit better than I did with Zack Greinke, but the feedback did not agree with that. It was a little bit late on it, good week. And anyway, it's sent out to center field. I just felt like at times I was just barely missing the ball, as well as it was not carrying in this one. I mean, both the opponent and I could easily have 4 or 5 runs apiece in this game. A couple more home runs. Here I throw a dot of a curveball, accidental dot. I was trying to throw it below the zone. I missed a little bit to the left of the hoop. He hangs it and throws it right where it needs to be for the strikeout. But George Brett to follow it up, throws a fastball inside. I turned on it. Finally, a good squared up pitch on a fastball up and in. I was struggling a little bit on that pitch myself, and the opponent kept going to it. And I would too. I mean, if I'm not able to turn on that pitch consistently, he goes right to it. Then he tries to go away with the slider. I squared that one up, sent it into center field. A very similar pitch to Zack Greinke is also going to result in a line out to center. So, I mean, I don't expect for all those to fall every time. I just am looking to hit the ball hard. But this opponent is also squaring this one up. Greinke is deep into this game. I went ahead and took a couple mound visits throughout this point. He did give up the 1 run early in this game in the first inning. I was able to settle down with him a little bit, and I felt like if I would have threw the fastball away to Kyle Schwarber, then I might have had that similar result facing Giambi there. Giambi was his pinch hitter. Now we got Tony Gwynn to deal with. I went with the fastball inside, and he's still sitting on that pitch. He sends it up the middle. However, he was a little bit late on it, still looking for that pitch, and is able to muscle it out there for a single. But we do have Billy Williams coming up to the plate. Healy's brand new Signature Series card regarding his moments, and he flies out to center field there. Fastball low and away. Once again, I was going back to that pitch, but I'm looking to try and get any runs of insurance that I can. I don't think that 1 run is going to be enough in this game. We're getting late into the game. The opponent only has 1 more chance to tie it up, and I still have Greinke on the mound. He's thrown a complete game so far, and I'm looking to try and expand the lead a little bit, give him some extra insurance runs. Maybe he could get the gold bar of confidence in the last inning to try and close it out. But we do have Griffey up at the plate facing Felipe Rivero, and then he's going to smack that one, a slider on the inside half. He pulls it, hits it off the wall. I'm not really sure what happened out there in right field. I didn't really see the animation that he got on my screen. I'm guessing that he went to rob it and it just hit off of his glove or off of his head or something out there in right field. Sometimes that happens where they almost catch the ball, but it does pop out of their glove or whatever. But very next batter, George Brett. He's the RBI machine, regardless if he's swinging with the check swing, beating out a fielder's choice. Anyway, I don't know how I did not hit that one out with Roberto Alomar for a home run. I felt like that was a hanging curveball. I squared it up perfectly, smacked it to center field. Just did not get the result that I'm looking for, but we do have the 2-run lead going into the top of the 9th inning. We can close this one out if we get a couple more outs here. And I'm going to take you guys through the last few at-bats here. Facing Joe Morgan, I wanted to try and leave Greinke out as long as possible. If this opponent gets a base runner, I'm immediately going to go to Bruce Sutter. However, he does chase the fastball outside there. The 2-seamer running away from Joe Morgan. He chases it, hits it off the end of his bat, and rolls over for the fly out to Roberto Alomar. So we're down to his last out. He has Ozzie Smith up at the plate. This is probably the guy that I would want to face. I mean, with the power hitter and that same exact hit result, that could have been a home run. But Ozzie Smith does not have the power to tie this game up or to put the tying run at the plate. So Lou Gehrig is the player of the game in that one. I believe that Zack Greinke was the player of the game. He pitched a complete game. It was not a shutout, gave up 2 runs, but he also hit a home run himself. So, which also took the lead. But we move up to 676. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. I'm College Lefty, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.